Hello. Welcome to a live and in the flesh virtual FYC. We had a very busy weekend in awards season land with the Producers Guild Awards on Saturday, the SAG Awards on Sunday. And just when things looked like they were going to go in one direction, they went in another direction, or maybe they didn't. But award season's really shaping up. We are getting a clear vision on how things will probably go on March 12th, 2023 at the 95th Academy Awards. Joining me as always, the amazing Perri Nemiroff, the mighty Jeff Snyder. So we are live. So first of all, big thanks to our sponsor, Above the Line. Make sure, since you are joining us live right now, make sure you go down and subscribe to Perri Nemiroff's YouTube channel so you can get great content like this and everything that Perri is doing on her channel. And make sure you send in your questions live, because we are live and we can take your questions. So make sure you hit us up, hit Perri up on her thing that you usually do, that she usually does. But anyway, let's get right to it. Let's start with a crazy weekend. Perri, what did you think? What did you think of both big award shows this weekend?
My brain is mush between big award shows, Scream experience type things, and having just gotten off a red-eye flight this morning. So there's a lot swirling up there. The SAG Awards in particular, there was one thing in particular that threw me for a loop, but I'm very happy to consider how it has reshaped that particular category for me.
I know what you're talking about because I texted both you and Jeff, and what the actual F and F was that? Jeff, what did you think of the weekend and how it's like shaping up for this award season?
Didn't love it, Scott. I mean, what you have seen our Top Gun win the PGA and at least keep this thing interesting. As it stands, everything everywhere is just dominating in a way that I did not foresee, especially with that supporting actress win, which was like a nice surprise, but like a surprise that's like, oh wow, this thing is really just a snowball that is unstoppable. But you know what? I think that there should still be some surprises in store for Saturday night, for Oscar night. Everybody thinks everything's a done deal, but we wouldn't bother having the Oscars if that was the case.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Funny thing you should mention the word snowball over a weekend when we actually had a lot of snowballs going around in Southern California, which was quite the experience, I have to say. But of course, the Producers Guild Awards happened on Saturday, and there was a lot of talk. I mean, it was not a lock, but it was certainly looking like Top Gun Maverick would win the Producers Guild Award. That did not happen. The winner went to Everything Everywhere All at Once. I stayed up and I was kept looking at the news and the trades, and then I saw it. Everything Everywhere All at Once wins the top prize at the Producers Guild. So, Perri, what did you think of that win?
Well, this is a perfect time to bring in our super chat. Wiley, a good friend of the channel, sending in support. I'm still rooting for Top Gun Maverick. I'm personally not a fan of Everything Everywhere, but glad for the filmmakers and for the fans. So this kind of ties into how I was feeling. I was predicting Top Gun Maverick. I thought it was going to be a split with the PGA and the Best Picture win. Top Gun Maverick takes PGA, but still Everything Everywhere gets the Best Picture win. This PGA outcome, though, kind of obliterates Top Gun Maverick's chances. And you guys know, I've been saying all along, it's Everything Everywhere number one for Best Picture, and Top Gun, I always thought, was number two right behind. That's not only completely changed, where I bumped Top Gun Maverick further down in my list, but I think everything else in the Best Picture field is just so far below Everything Everywhere All at Once that I truly feel confident in saying the Best Picture race is over right now.
I wouldn't go that far, but it's almost over. It's certainly, look, anything can still happen, but I understand why you feel the way you do. I mean, I do too, but I'm still just kind of being okay, just hang on a minute. Jeff, what do you think? Everything Everywhere. You just said it yourself before I even asked the question. It's not, it's certainly looking good, but is it a lock?
I don't think it's a lock, no, but I don't know if that's just me being stubborn this late in the season, It certainly seems like it has it in the bag. But then again, this collection of people, right, has not weighed in, right? Little pockets of them have weighed in here and there and whatever. But as I've always said, there is a different filling out an Oscar ballot is a different thing. There's a different weight to it. If there wasn't, then every guild winner would just go on to win at the Oscars, and that's not what happens. So there are going to be some surprises. We just don't know what they're going to be at this point, although I don't anticipate Best Picture being one of them.
Okay, so we have, what do you call it, Perry, when someone has a question that you want to pop up? Yes.
Super chat from
Super
Allison.
chat.
Good to see you, Allison. So excited to see you guys live. I love FYC. We love you for being here and for supporting the show. Thank you so much, Allison.
Thank you, Allison. So here's my question. This is a question for everybody on the super chat. This is for everyone watching live, and this is for everyone to comment below in the comment section. We got a lot of super chats, and we're going to have a lot more super chats coming after I ask this question. I thought about this, Jeff and Perri. Is it possible? Is it possible? I could not wait to ask this question. I know what you're thinking, Perri.
Where is this going?
Okay, where is this going? All right, here's where this is going. Is it possible that because Tom Cruise was getting a separate award for Lifetime Achievement, the Selnick Award, that he undercut his chances for Top Gun Maverick to win Best Picture?
I saw that theory this week that people didn't vote for Top Gun because Tom Cruise was already getting an award at the show. I don't think that makes a ton of sense. No, I can't subscribe to that. And believe me, I'm trying to look for meaning in everything these days, so that I avoid getting the answer that just keeps coming back the same each time. But no, I don't think that is legit.
Perri, what do you think? Is it possible that Tom Cruise undercut his own chances?
No, I don't think that's anywhere near an actual possibility here. And then also, let's just like play around with the idea. Let's say that did cross someone's mind. I think you completely forget about that when you're voting for something using the preferential ballot system where you're ranking. It's not like you're just like picking something and not the movie that Tom Cruise represents. So no, I don't think that had anything to do with Top Gun Maverick's loss.
Okay, here's why I think it actually does. Maybe a little, because before the weekend even started, I thought to myself, wait a minute. So Tom Cruise is getting a Lifetime Achievement Award from the Producers Guild, which he totally deserves. And his movie Top Gun Maverick is also nominated for Best Picture. Are the producers going to actually reward Tom Cruise separately and then reward the film for Best Picture? Is he going to actually win 2 honors tonight? Like, is that actually going to happen? Or will some PGA members, Producers Guild members, vote, give Tom Cruise the award because, it's happening anyway, and then spread the love by giving Everything Everywhere the Best Picture prize? I actually thought that before the weekend, and then the next morning, our good friend Scott Feinberg from The Hollywood Reporter speculated on his opinion piece, wrapping up the PGA, that maybe it's possible that he undercut his chances because he was getting this separate award. I think it's possible, but both of you don't. Am I clear on that?
The membership did not vote for that Tom Cruise award, right? That was
I know.
A board or something. So I feel like there's still plenty of members in the PGA who hadn't, had the opportunity to put their vote forward for Cruise and Top Gun, and they still didn't do it. You know what I mean?
Right. I get it. But I still think that's possible that Producers Guild members saw that it was already a done deal that Cruise was getting this award. So maybe they decided to spread the love and vote for Everything Everywhere, which is a deserving film. I mean, look, we've been saying this all season long. I mean, I love Everything Everywhere. I keep going back and forth between Everything Everywhere and Top Gun. But of course, I want Top Gun to win for many reasons we discussed before. I just think that it's possible. It's possible that some Producers Guild members just went with Everything Everywhere because Tom Cruise was already getting the award. Again, I posed the question to you, everyone watching and everyone listening. Do you think it's possible that maybe, just maybe, people went with Everything Everywhere because Tom Cruise was getting the separate award? Comment below. Hit us up on the, what do you call it, Perri?
I think it's possible, regardless of what the guild is, that people will vote for a different movie for a guild award than they do the Oscar, because it's like, I want to honor these 2 things, but this is the one I really want to honor, and I'm saving my Oscar vote for that one. but I want to spread the love and give some Guild Awards to this other movie that I love. I think that's
All
possible.
right, Perri, you want to hit us up with some
I would believe that mentality more than the specifics of Tom Cruise as an individual getting honored and the big win at the PGA. But like I do, like, again, I say this all the time, every single voter is a human being, and the mentality that you want to spread the love is something that could have an actual impact on the winners. Anthony's here. What's up, Anthony? Happy for the future of award season with these unconventional narratives for films like Coda, Everything Everywhere All at Once. Thanks always to you three for great discussions. And thank you to you, Anthony, for being here. We also have Javier. Hello from Spain. In my opinion, some movies deserve a Best Picture nomination rather than Avatar 2, like The Whale, To Leslie, or even RRR. Which movie deserves a spot on that list, and which one would you take down? Thanks.
Oh, is this for Oscars?
Yeah.
I definitely agree that RRR should have been nominated. And listen, the more I've talked about Babylon, the more I love it. I just don't think it was a movie that people embraced like on the first viewing. But those are two films, especially Babylon and RRR, I would definitely put on.
What would you take off?
Oh, I don't know. I got to think more about that. That's a great question, Javier. That's a really, really hard. You know what I would take off? I would take off Avatar 2 because I thought it was boring. I said it.
You know what I'm going to say that's going to make people real mad again?
What?
And again, this doesn't make me an Elvis hater. I just don't think it's a really strong movie overall. I would take off Elvis, and I think I might add something like Nope. Let me see that genre love. Even there's genre on the lineup. Everything Everywhere All at Once is definitely a genre film, a many genre film. But I want to see more horror in the Oscars.
I want to see more horror in the Oscars too. Now, Get Out was deserving. Nope wasn't. I liked Nope, but I didn't love it. But Jeff, what do you think? How would you answer that question?
I would put She Said in place of women talking.
There you go. There you go. That's a great choice.
Now you lost me. It's okay, Jeff.
Now, some things to note about the sort of stats that Jeff automatically dismisses, but it is worth mentioning. So in the previous 5 years, not this year, the Producers Guild winner went on to win the Academy Award for Best Picture 4 times. And in the previous 33 years, the Producers Guild winner went on to win the Oscar for Best Picture 22 times. So that's 33 years and 22 times that it also won the Oscar. So that's a success rate, or a prediction rate rather, of 67%. So, that's not like the Directors Guild where like 8 times out of 74 years, it didn't go on to win Best Director. So I actually think, Jeff, you're right. It's not a lock. It is not over.
Let me throw something out there that we have to discuss it. This is the movie that we should be talking about for the next 2 weeks. And that movie is Apollo 13.
Okay, great. Exactly. Right.
Take it away, Scott. Take it away.
Okay. Well, look. So let's see. Apollo 13. Wait a minute.
PGA.
So 10 times out of the last 10 times, the previous 10 times. No, wait, hang on. Okay, so wait, here's the stat. I know what the stat is. Wait, no, Jeff, I know what it is. There's
no movie that has won the PGA, the DGA, and SAG and lost except for Apollo 13, right?
Right. Wait. Right.
So
okay, here it is. Here's the stat. Okay. You got ahead of me, but here's the stat. I did have this written down. So here's the stat. When it comes to winning the Producers Guild, the Directors Guild, and the SAG Award for Best Cast, this is the 10th movie. Everything Everywhere is now the 10th movie to sweep the Producers Guild, the Directors Guild, and the SAG Award for Best Cast. Now, wait. Of those 10, 9 went on to win Best Picture. 9 of the sweeps, the Producers Guild winner, the Directors Guild winner, and the SAG Award winner for Best Cast went on to win Best Picture. The one that did not was Apollo 13. That Best Picture went to Braveheart. Is that the stat you're talking about, Jeff?
Basically, what I'm getting at is that there is precedent for this. For a movie to win these 3 big awards And everyone thinks it's a shoo-in heading into the night, and then something else wins. Now, the problem that I've basically been wrong with all season, this is the humble pie portion of the episode, is that no movie has really stood up to present itself as the main competition. We'd like to think it's Top Gun or Fabelmans, but that, like, they're just support never coalesced around another title. And that's where I've been wrong all season, is that I thought that support would coalesce around something like that, but it's too fractured. It's too all over the place, and that's why Everything Everywhere is winning everything.
That's why it's over. It's over.
Okay, so again, listen, this stat, regarding the PGA, the DGA, and the SAG winner, all these movies winning those and then going on to win the Oscar. That stat is really hard to not really take seriously. But the other thing is, we all thought, so many people in the industry thought that, in terms of pundits like us, thought that Top Gun would win Best Picture at the Producers Guild, and it went to Everything Everywhere. So if Top Gun is seriously no longer a major threat to Everything Everywhere all at once, what is? Well, maybe, Jeff, that movie is All Quiet on the Western Front because it won so big at the BAFTA Awards. And Perri, you're shaking your head no. Why?
Because the answer is nothing. Nothing. Like, if we go back to the game that we were playing on previous episodes of the show when we were revisiting the categories, every other movie that I could maybe craft some sort of narrative to give it a chance at challenging Everything Everywhere also has a major downside that basically eliminates its chances. Yes, All Quiet on the Western Front did clean up at the BAFTAs, but it's still in international feature where it's likely to get tons of support. And if anything, all those BAFTA wins signal to me is that could wind up winning in more crafts categories than we originally thought. But it's still, even with all of that, it's still so far down in terms of the rankings of Best Picture chances. And the same is true of pretty much everything on the list now, because now I'm moving Top Gun Maverick down. If I look at the Banshees of Inisherin, yes, that has tons of acting support. It has director. It has screenplay. It's going to win screenplay. It's not going to win Best Picture. And it doesn't feel like it has any chance to do that either at this point. The Fabelmans, we've been talking about how that movie stock is declining and has been declining ever since TIFF for the most part. So yeah. I don't think anything has a chance at this point.
The other, no, there is a chance, okay? Because there's a word that we have not mentioned yet. And that word is the B word. And that is backlash. Okay, now this is basic human psychology and human nature. That when one movie starts winning all these awards, right? People get resentful of it. And there wasn't really an opportunity to have a backlash against Everything Everywhere because it only just won 2 huge awards this past weekend. Now that Oscar voting is starting at the end of the week, you may see a little bit of a backlash from people who just feel like, wait, really? Are we just giving every award to Everything Everywhere? Why does it have to win this, and this now? And then there might be, they may change their vote or whatever.
What is the narrative for that you see like possibly forming, Jeff? Like other than it just
literally just human psychology, where like when everyone rushes over here and everything wins something, people get resentful. That's just like psychology.
Just strictly like you're throwing out the idea that people don't want it to win too much compared to the others, and that's
right. It's won enough. Do we really need to give it everything at the Oscars too? That thing.
Not even necessarily dismissing it on like the quality of the film.
Exactly. Just we've heard.
Yeah. Well, look, that's actually a really good point. 2 things could happen. Everything Everywhere could be just this wave that it has been riding these last couple weeks, with the Directors Guild Award the previous weekend, and now the 1-2 punch of the PGA and the SAG. It could keep just sort of riding the wave and, sort of ride it all the way to Best Picture. Or there could be Academy voters who say, okay, wait a minute. I'm fine with giving it Best Director and Best Original Screenplay over Banshees. But really, am I going to give that and Best Picture too? I mean, I don't know. But I do think clearly Everything Everywhere it's looking really good for Everything Everywhere to win Best Picture.
you put a gun to my head and said, you know, I'm going to kill your whole family unless you tell me what's going to win Best Picture. I'm giving you the answer, everything, everywhere, right? Like, I would be stupid not to. But yeah, I'm just saying that possibility exists. It could be like the Best Actress snubs where, oh, well, everyone's voting for everything everywhere. Of course that's going to win. Well, I'm just going to assume it. And so I'm going to put it lower on my own ballot because it's so obviously going to win. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right. So shall we move on to the SAG Awards?
I have a super chat for you, Mance, first.
Okay.
Apologies if I mispronounce your name. Nuzette, could Everything Everywhere become the film with the most Oscar wins since Slumdog Millionaire? I think there's a path to it. So happy to meet you at Sitges, Scott.
Oh, hey, yeah. Oh my gosh, that was great to see you. We were talking about Top Gun at Sitges, and now I kind of feel like I have to eat my words with that. But thank you for watching and for remembering everything. That conversation there at Sitges. So listen, absolutely. This sort of goes along with Everything Everywhere is going to win a lot of awards on Oscar night. I mean, it could win 5 or 6, maybe more than that. Look at the original screenplay, editing. It could win editing. I mean, certainly supporting actor and maybe now supporting actress as well, and picture, director. I mean, it's going to win a lot of awards, no question about it. But I still subscribe to the theory that maybe it's possible that because Cruise was already getting honored at the Producers Guild with a Lifetime Achievement, maybe that's why some of those PGA voters went with Everything Everywhere. Maybe. But regardless, I still think, and I'm just going to say this, that Everything Everywhere deserves to win Best Picture. So there's that. Let's move on to the SAG Awards. Few things to note about the SAG Awards before we get into the category winners. So A24 is the MVP of the SAG Awards. It won all 5 categories, major categories in the film area, not including Best Cast Stunt Ensemble, which went to Top Gun Maverick, of course. But I'll tell you, everything A24 is incredible. Everything Everywhere had 5 nominations going into the SAG Awards. It won every award it could. And the reason I say that is because it was nominated twice in supporting actress, so it could only win one of those. But it won 4 SAG Awards, which is a SAG record for the most wins of a single film. Now, last year, keep an eye on this stat. So last year, all 5 of those SAG Award winners went on to win the Academy Award, including Coda, which had Best Cast and then got Best Picture. Now, here's the other, and there are some discrepancies in recent years, like when the late, great Chadwick Boseman won for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, and then that big last-minute surprise when Anthony Hopkins won Best Actor. That was a hell of a thing. Now, here are numbers that you have to keep in mind of when comparing the SAG voting membership to the Academy voting membership. There are around 160,000 members of SAG. That's a lot of voters. Okay. Now, in the Academy, the acting branch of the Academy has around 1,300 members. Most of those Academy acting members are members of SAG. Most of them, but not all of them. Those 1,300 members of acting members of SAG vote for the acting categories. Each branch votes for each category, but all 9,400 roughly voters of the Academy vote for all the winners in all the categories. So now when it comes to voting for the acting categories and Best Picture, you're going to have directors voting for actors. You're going to have editors voting for picture. You're going to have composers voting for supporting actress. It's, you know what I mean? You're mixing up a lot of different branches now when it comes to voting for all these categories. So Jeff, you're shaking your head. I'm curious if you think that also will possibly have an impact on maybe Everything Everywhere not winning Best Picture.
I mean, that's the only reason I'm leaving the door open, basically, is, again, we haven't seen this collection of people. These 10,000 people have not weighed in yet. right? And I
Yeah.
do think that when you take something like SAG, which is 160,000 voters, and you reduce it to 1,300, I mean, that's a lot of everything, everywhere love that you may lose. Okay. Uh, so I just think anything is possible at the Oscars. That's what I think. I'm not ready to say it's a lock that everything everywhere wins. It is 95, 96, 97% of the way there, but I can't go full 100.
Perry, what do you think?
I'll bet everything I have on Everything Everywhere All at Once winning. We're not just talking the one for one of a SAG ensemble win to a Best Picture win. It's won so many major awards that, again, don't necessarily make up the entire Academy voting body, but does involve a pretty significant amount. And, you gotta sometimes just like take the temperature of the room when they call out certain names and certain film titles. You could hear it if you watch these award shows and you pay attention, or if you watch clips from the ones that weren't broadcast. You could feel a different energy in the room when certain people and certain films are announced. And I think that every time Everything Everywhere All at Once is announced, there's that extra enthusiasm that basically leaves me with no doubt that these wins mean it's going to have an Oscar win for Best Picture.
All right, listen, Perry, I understand why you're saying that. And look, if you're going to read the temperature in the room, then yeah, it's over. Everything Everywhere wins Best Picture. But just when you think something is a lock, it's not. Everyone thought that Chadwick Boseman was going to win Best Actor. The producers of the Oscars saved Best Actor, that category, for last, thinking that a Chadwick Boseman win, after he had passed away, would be such a great way to end the Oscars. And it went to friggin' Anthony Hopkins, and who wasn't even there. So anything is possible. I'm not saying there's going to be a lot of surprises, but maybe there will be. And look,
no, it's not a maybe. Okay, it's not a maybe. There will be surprises. Okay,
I agree.
Nothing goes according to plan.
I hope there are surprises. Otherwise, it's going to be a really boring Academy Awards. Perry, do we have another?
Yeah. Oh, we got a bunch. This one's from Jonathan Caro. I think Everything Everywhere All at Once is a lock for picture and director. Would you guys look at that? Apart from supporting actor, the acting races are up in the air or close, especially supporting actress. Do you want to use this as a segue into one of the acting categories, and we can jump back to that's after?
Thank you, Jonathan, and thank you, Perry, because yes, and we were also talking about a lock, and certainly I was looking at the Outstanding Supporting Female Actor as a lock for Angela Bassett for Wakanda Forever, and the first film acting category of the night at the SAG Awards went to Jamie Lee Curtis for Everything Everywhere. Whoa, that was like, whoa. I texted both of you. I went, whoa, holy F and F, and whoa. Okay, so Perry, what do you think?
I did not see this. It's impossible. Like, if I were a voting member of SAG, my vote would go to Stephanie Hsu. It is absolutely impossible not to be happy for Jamie Lee Curtis. It's just like her energy, her enthusiasm for the project and for the people that she got to make it with is just totally infectious. What I think this does to the category, though, isn't necessarily a situation where she gets propelled to the top of the list. And, even as a realistic chance of winning the Oscar, I still don't think that she is going to win it. And I still would bet on Angela Bassett and Kerry Condon over her. But I do have to admit, it is an especially tight race for the three of them. If I was able to count the SAG votes, this is the type of situation where I would probably bet that the ultimate counts were fairly close, and it was a situation where it probably could have gone to any of the three of them. I would probably guess, but I'm actually still keeping my top two as is. So I'm still leaning Angela Bassett with Kerry Condon behind, but now I've bumped Jamie Lee Curtis up to like a firmer number three with a chance of maybe getting the Oscar, but I still don't think it's going to happen.
All right, Jeff, what do you think? You think Jamie Lee Curtis, especially her acceptance speech, votes, the polls open for the Academy Friday, or Thursday, March 2nd. So do you think that will be fresh in the minds of Academy voters when they go to vote for supporting actress and pick Jamie Lee Curtis over Angela Bassett, who's the front runner?
I mean, I didn't see Jamie Lee's speech. I was at a different award show last night, but I've been saying this whole time on this show, I just don't think that they're going to give it to Angela Bassett because she's in a Marvel movie. It's nothing to do with her or her race. It just has to do with the fact that she's in a Marvel movie. So I do think it kind of is between Kerry Condon and Jamie Lee Curtis. I always thought Jamie Lee was the stronger of the two Everything Everywhere contenders. She may just ride that wave of support to the Dolby stage. I do think the fact that she won shows a little weakness from Angela, which may mean, Kerry Condon has a good shot. But yeah, I've been saying it for weeks. I just don't think it's Angela Bassett's year.
But Angela Bassett did the thing.
I think it is Angela Bassett's year. I think despite the surprise win by Jamie Lee Curtis, I still think, Angela Bassett, I mean, she has that one Oscar nomination 30 years ago for Tina Turner and What's Love Got to Do with It. And now she's nominated again and she's won all these other awards leading up to this. I still think it's hers to lose the Oscar. I mean, but we shall see. The win for Jamie Lee Curtis definitely does shake things up. Let's move on to wait, we have another.
We have a lot, Mance, but I like this one. Morons make sense. Mance and Jeff are going through the 5 stages of grief. The current stage is denial. It's time to move towards acceptance.
Not wrong.
Yeah.
Moron is not wrong.
I'm tickled by this. Thank you for the super chat.
That's a really, really good point. Yes. We're in denial. We're in the denial phase.
This one's just support. Ethan just wanted to support the show. So Ethan, thank you for being here and for your super chat. It is greatly appreciated.
Thank you, Ethan. You rock. Let's move on to outstanding supporting male actor. I mean, if there is a lock at this point with anything, even though he got passed over for the BAFTA, which is very telling about the BAFTA, Ke Huy Quan has been everywhere, doing everything all at once this season, and nobody deserves it more. It's the feel-good story of award season. Perri, I mean, come on. That's it, right? For supporting actor.
Oh, it's always been it. It's done. It's over in my mind. But all I want to see on Oscar night is 2 actors from Encino Man get up on that stage and accept an Oscar. Ke Huy Quan included.
That could happen. Jeff, what do you think?
He was great in the movie. I'll be thrilled when he wins the Oscar.
So Ke Huy Quan becoming the first Asian to win supporting actor at the SAG Awards. Do we have any more chats, Perri, we want to hit?
We've got a lot to keep us busy. Not Chuck Productions wants to know, do you think Everything Everywhere All at Once could be the first big Oscar sweep in a decade? Also, brief thoughts on the Annies, specifically in the shorts categories. Wait, I have a question for you guys that I'm happy to say live, but you could give me the information privately if you have an answer. Have you heard anything about access to the Oscar nominated shorts? Because I take great pride in accepting that offer and watching every single short every year. And I have received no PR emails about those shorts. And it makes me.
I haven't either, but I've been going online and just Googling like how to watch, all these different shorts, and 90% of them are online separately. They're just not all in one place, but most of them are online. You can watch most of them. There's a couple that aren't.
I'll do my home. I'm used to my specific link, and I just burn through all of them in a big marathon.
I feel like only short even has a profile at all this year. It doesn't seem like it's been a very good year for shorts. Not that I've seen them, but
I did see. I watched the ones that are available. I did watch them. Any more super chats there, Perri?
Well, what do you think of the Annies? Any big takeaways?
Look, I mean, I can't really say on the shorts for the Annies, but I mean, I think that the one to beat is obviously Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. Although I gotta say, I do think that it is a great year for animated film. I loved The Sea Beast, which is also a Netflix movie like Pinocchio. And, in any other year, that would have been the one to beat. But then Pinocchio came along. Okay, let's move on to outstanding female. What? We got one
Here's
more.
another
Trevor.
comment. I will also say, man, even Puss in Boots, I never imagined we could film in the. I'm just like not the biggest Shrek fan. I respect people who are, but I never would have imagined that we would have gotten such a strong film in that particular animated franchise. Trevor is here to say, love the enthusiasm from you three when discussing movies. Shout out to Apollo 13, one of the best films of the last few decades.
I agree, Trevor. I love Apollo 13 to pieces. That movie came out in 1995. I've seen it so many times. You know, I have it on 4K, but when it drops every so often on Peacock, because it's a Universal movie, whenever it's there, I go, oh, look what's back on Peacock. And I watch Apollo 13. That movie is amazing.
Christina B says, SAG made the actors race is more chaotic. Let's go.
No
Yeah,
kidding,
that's also
Christina.
an adorable dog.
Yes. How cute. All right.
All
How
right.
about the outstanding female lead actor? All right. This definitely is a big shakeup. Michelle Yeoh winning for Everything Everywhere over Kate Blanchett, the front runner up to this point. And just like Ke Huy Quan became the first Asian to win supporting actor at the SAG, Michelle Yeoh became the first Asian to win outstanding lead female actor at the SAG Awards. So that means that Michelle Yeoh has the SAG Award and the Golden Globe for comedy. Kate Blanchett has the BAFTA, the Critics' Choice Award, and the Golden Globe for drama. Jeff, how does Michelle Yeoh winning the SAG Award affect her chances to win the Academy Award for Best Actress, which is something that Perri and I especially have been gunning for? No offense to Top Gun Maverick.
I mean, I still don't think that she's going to win the Oscar. I think that this is the case where it's like, you know, Michelle Yeoh is so good, I got to give her something, but Kate Blanchett has my Oscar vote, so I'm going to give Michelle the SAG. That's sort of how I'm looking at it. But no, I think in the end, Kate Blanchett will win.
You know what? I was very, very vocal about Michelle Yeoh winning, like predicting that she would win, and then starting to like think, oh, maybe it will be Kate Blanchett. I mean, you know, I saw the movie again and she's amazing in it. But now with the SAG Award, I'm like, okay, I'm back on with Michelle Yeoh. Perri, what do you think?
So I've been saying Kate Blanchett since the beginning. Since I saw Tar, this was one of those ones where I'm like, oh, wow, in an exceptional body of work, she just delivered her best performance yet. And I can't see how anyone out there could vote for anybody but her. I have finally swapped spots. Now Michelle Yeoh is my number one and Kate Blanchett is my number two. I again, and I'll use this as an excuse to bring up Mike Joyce's super chat here, because he references the backlash we were talking about being a possibility before. I think the backlash will come from Big Bagel. Everything Everywhere could be considered anti-bagel. That is a joke, but like when I think about the possibility of a backlash happening at this point, I actually see it being the exact opposite, where you see all of these people from this film get up there and receive these major accolades, and they do it with, you know, the utmost heart. They're so humble. They're so enthusiastic. They literally represent how I want everyone in this industry to feel about their own work and how I want them to celebrate each other's work. I feel like more love is just going to keep going towards that movie. And I do think it is indeed going to propel Michelle Yeoh above Kate Blanchett in this category.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, I remember remarking on an earlier episode of FYC that I don't think it will be lost on the Academy to make history by giving Michelle Yeoh this Oscar just because of her being overlooked all these years as an actor, and for never getting a lead role like this. But again, also for making history by giving the first Asian woman lead actress. I think that could happen. I think that's really going to propel her now. And I was really hoping she would win before. Now I think that she actually will win, and she deserves to win. But also, you know, Kate Blanchett also deserves to win. So who knows what's going to happen there. Any other comments there, Jeff, before we move on?
Just that I think the last time we spoke about this category, I said that Michelle Yeoh had a real chance because people want to see her up on that stage. Like no one really wants to see Kate Blanchett up there accepting another award. So I do think that factors into it. But when it comes to Oscar time, I think that the performance will win out over the who do we want on the stage giving a speech. And that's why I think people win.
Okay.
Very good. Very good.
A few super chats before the next
Let's do it.
All right, Darth Kal-El is here. Are some of us just in denial about Everything Everywhere All at Once winning big at the Oscars because it's just so radically different and feels nothing like an Oscar film? It's part of the reason that I'm excited about it.
Yeah,
Forget even it not feeling like an Oscar film. It literally feels like no film I've ever seen before.
Well, should I call you Darth or Cal or Mr. L? Either way, thank you for the question and for the support. And something else I had said a couple times here on FYC is that Parasite winning the Oscars for 2019, the awards happened in February the 9th, 2020, I think that really kicked the door open for something that's so radically different and feels nothing like an Oscar film. So I think now Everything Everywhere, and according to just being an awesome movie and a big box office success, making $107 million worldwide, I think it is also riding that wave, especially after Parasite kicked the door open. So that's a great question, Darth.
And I think you're absolutely right. It does feel different, and that's why no one really saw it coming. But it's like I said, it was a weak year for awards titles, right? How many movies do we say, oh, Empire Light's going to be in the mix, and this movie and that movie, and all these movies came up short, right? It was a bad year for prestige movies, which is why it's Top Gun versus Everything Everywhere.
I don't necessarily think it's a bad year for prestige movies. I just thought it was an exceptional year for really unique, unusual movies. And they're encouraging us to open our minds up to the possibilities. Ethan's here with a super chat. Vex that SAG awarded Yo over Blanchett when Blanchett's performance is master level and will be discussed in acting schools for years to come. It probably will be discussed in acting schools for years to come. And I very much applaud that because it's deserving of that kind of analysis and conversation. But Everything Everywhere All at Once will be discussed in every single program across every single discipline for years to come. So I don't know.
Look, I think that Tar itself, the movie itself, not just her performance, but I think Tar itself will be analyzed in film schools for years to come because it is such a conversation starter. People want to talk about that movie after they see it. So, and of course, for Cate Blanchett's performance. So to quote Gladiator, to quote Joaquin Phoenix in Gladiator, that vexes me. I'm terribly vexed.
But you guys really think Tar is going to go home empty-handed, huh?
I think that Fabelmans could go home empty-handed. I think that Banshees could go empty-handed at this point.
Maybe Banshee. I'm more on the fence about Banshees and some other things. I don't want to. No.
You don't want to put it out there in the universe, Perri?
Yeah, I mean, never mind. Actually.
Yeah.
I think realistically, when I think about the categories that Banshees has its best shot in, I see something topping it. So you're probably right. We got a big one here from Gabriel Wong. Conflicted about Cate Blanchett, goddess and jaw-droppingly good in Tar, versus Michelle Yeoh, legend, and I have grown up watching her movies. Can they please tie? Thank you for your consideration for all the great content, as always. Thank you for the big super chat, Gabriel. It's so deeply appreciated.
Gabriel, you rock. Thank you so very, very, very much for your support and for your generous donation. And boy, do we wish that could happen, a tie with Cate Blanchett and Michelle Yeoh, but it's not going to happen. So, Gabriel, you got to pick one. If you're going to pick one, if you're going to pick between Cate Blanchett and Michelle Yeoh, let us know who you are choosing because we want to know. Everybody wants to know. All right, let's move on to Outstanding Lead Male Actor. This is another one that was kind of up in the air. And Perri, Brendan Fraser should be thanking you at the SAG Awards.
I told you.
Now, okay, Brendan Fraser, kind of a front runner, and then Austin Butler was a front runner after his win at the BAFTA, and now Brendan Fraser is a front runner again. So, Jeff, I want to open this up to you. How does Brendan Fraser's win affect him winning the Oscar, or do you think there's still a chance for Austin Butler to, get all shook up and win the Academy Award.
Again, here's what I want to say about it. This is how I felt entering the season. I don't think these Guild Awards matter at all. I really don't. So I don't want to sit here and say, oh, well, this award doesn't matter, but then this award does matter. Like, I got to keep it consistent. But I've thought all season long that it's going to be Brendan Fraser. It's not going to be Austin Butler. People are treating like Brendan Fraser's win was a surprise. Yeah.
Not at all.
Oh, yes. No, they definitely were, especially in the trade headlines last night. People were expecting, like Michelle Yeoh was an upset because people thought Cate Blanchett was going to win, and people thought, Jamie Lee was an upset, and people thought that Brendan Fraser was an upset. I just don't think Austin Butler has the support.
I don't think that Brendan Fraser was an upset at all. I think he was the front runner. I just started thinking maybe it could go to Austin, but like I know I love Elvis more than both of you, but I thought that Austin Butler, that Brendan Fraser was the front runner. Perri?
I think people need to look at the definition of things like snub and upset and surprise when they write these articles, because I think we just throw those terms out a little too freely when they don't apply. But I'm sticking with my prediction since I saw The Whale, and it's that this is Brendan Fraser's award to lose. But, I will fully admit, as we've progressed through the season, I originally started in a place where I thought he was miles ahead of the competition and was untouchable. And then you wind up seeing support for a Colin Farrell and an Austin Butler that does make it seem like the race is closer than what I originally imagined. But he's always been my front runner, and I put a lot of I've been putting a lot of stock in seeing large amounts of people show up for screenings or Q&As and hearing the enthusiasm when that individual walks out. And it happens every goddamn time for Brendan Fraser. People love him. People love his work. People love his body of work. People love what he says when he gets up there and he makes these speeches, and very much makes you feel how deeply appreciative he is of the honor that he was given. So I think this one is going to go all the way to a best actor.
I got to say, after watching Brendan Fraser's speech at the Critics' Choice Awards and then watching his speech at the SAG Awards, I think if he wins the Oscar, he's going to spontaneously combust. Because the guy's like ready to explode with enthusiasm and joy and appreciation. And it's a beauty to behold because he does deserve it. I mean, he absolutely deserves it. So Austin Butler with the BAFTA and the Golden Globe, and Brendan Fraser with the SAG Award and the Critics' Choice. So I am not ruling out Austin Butler at this point. I think that overall, I think Elvis is a better appreciated movie. A lot more people certainly saw it. And I love Elvis. I'm not ready to call it yet for Brendan Fraser. I'm going to call it when we do our final predictions, which we are doing next week. I can't believe we are almost here. We have another show this week, and then we have our final predictions, and then that's it.
But that's not it, because then we roll right into Emmys. It never stops. Award season.
FYC. All year long. So big thanks to Perri for keeping us going. Another super chat.
This super chat is specifically for Jeff. Allison wants to know, why do you think the Academy is so against Marvel when there are so many Academy actors in comic book movies?
Great question, Allison.
Let's hear it. It's a great question. I think that these guys know deep down they've taken a paycheck role, right? Like, it's not that you can't do great work or Oscar-worthy work in a comic book movie, because we've certainly seen that, like Heath Ledger, Joaquin Phoenix. I don't know why DC movies get wins and Marvel doesn't. But I just don't see anyone in a Marvel movie winning anytime soon. I feel like there is a bit of a bias or like you dominated the box office. That's sort of your reward. I don't know. I just think it's tough to take some of the performances in those movies seriously, even though Angela Bassett was very good in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever.
I could maybe see that argument applying to certain characters in certain Marvel movies with certain tones, maybe. But Black Panther.
Very different case given everything that's happened with Chadwick. Absolutely.
All right, we got Faisal here. Are you guys really not considering All Quiet's chances for Best Picture because it's a foreign film? It got more nominations than Parasite, just saying.
I am.
I am too. I mean, look, I think that with Top Gun losing momentum, which breaks my heart to a million pieces, and with All Quiet being a great movie, the only one of the 10 Best Picture nominees that is exclusive to a streaming service, and it's been making the rounds during the season. Netflix is really, really behind it, and it should be, because look how it did at the BAFTA Awards. I'm not ruling out All Quiet's chances for Best Picture at all. I just want to see more people talking about its chances to win, and I'm still not seeing as much of that chatter, in terms of what Perri said, reading the temperature in the room for All Quiet, like maybe Jeff is.
I'm not ruling it out completely, but the reason that I'm giving it less of a chance, because it is also nominated for best international feature, is because, again, bringing the human being mentality into it. Someone might say, I'll give it this Oscar, so I won't vote for it in this category. And I feel like, in particular, comparing someone picking something in best international feature to best picture is a good example of that, versus, saying I'm not going to give it a crafts category because it's nominated in best international.
All I want to point out is that obviously our opinions have changed. We've been up here on a movie or up here on a performance, and then a week or two later we've changed, right? And that is what you have to keep in mind with the Oscars. Everything that's happened this season doesn't matter. None of it. The only thing that matters is how they feel this week. This week.
Yeah. Especially this Thursday.
Because the PGA stuff and the SAG stuff that just happened last night or whatever, that was voted on weeks ago, right? Weeks ago. So it's all about how they feel right now, this week, now that they have all the information from the guilds and they've seen all the speeches and all that. How does that affect them? We won't know until Oscar night.
It adds up. Javier is back. In Spain, we usually finish watching the Oscars at 6 a.m. and off to work after. Wow. So we could use a shorter show like SAG. Can the Academy really do that? You guys answer this. I missed one up top and I want to find it, so I'm scrolling up for a minute.
I do not think that the Academy, I still think its show is going to be like 3.5 hours at least.
Make it 4 hours. Why are we trying to hit some arbitrary runtime? The people who want to watch the Oscars will stay up and watch 8 hours of the Oscars if that's how long it is. The Academy needs to get this thing out of their heads about a time limit.
I don't care about the time limit. It's the Oscars. I'll watch an 8-hour Oscar award show. I don't care. I just love the Oscars. I don't want award season to end, even though we're going to roll right into Emmy season after this on FYC. But I don't care about the running time. What I'm hoping for, honestly, is that, with so much momentum now behind everything everywhere, I'm just hoping that there are some surprises. Otherwise, the award show itself is going to be kind of boring.
So I'll take any excuse I can get to talk about award season. So I did an interview recently with Jeff Loveness, who wrote Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, and he did some writing on the Oscars in 2017. So I'm just like, why not? So I asked him, what would you do to change the Oscars to up the ratings and make people more interested? And he basically gave me the answer that I wanted to hear. He says to me something along the lines of, and I'm paraphrasing here, but like, that's the wrong question. Who cares about the ratings? Just make it about what the Oscars are supposed to be about, the movies receiving awards. Have it go as long as they want. Have them make speeches for however long they want. Make it about the winners.
Right. Just produce a good show. People will watch the show until 3 a.m. if it's a good show.
I think the fact that Jimmy Kimmel's Oscar commercial, he was parodying Top Gun. Listen, that's why people are going to watch the Oscars, because Top Gun is nominated, because Avatar is nominated, because Elvis is nominated, because Everything Everywhere is nominated. Movies that people actually saw translates into people watching the Oscars to see how those movies do.
I'm so relieved I found the super chat. Harv said, I felt the SAG stream on Netflix went very well. Acceptance speeches got more leeway and folks were allowed to curse for truly genuine moments. Should the Oscars consider streaming in their future?
Harv, that is a great question. And I think it is only a matter of time before the Academy Awards switch from ABC to a streaming service. It's not if, it's when. Look what's happening. I mean, I watched the SAG Awards last night on the Netflix YouTube channel, and it was great. There were no ads, all those like moments from past award shows, and the speeches, like you point out, went on for longer than usual. I'm like, bring it on. You know, when you if let's say the Oscars went to like Apple TV Plus or to Netflix, I'd be like, great, you're freed of all the stupid commercials. Let's just focus on the award show and just have it be one complete show instead of like, you know, wacky commercials.
I enjoyed it. I know some people will disagree with me, but do away with the bits. I feel like for every 10 bits, 3 of them wind up being kind of funny. Maybe one of them is hilarious and winds up getting shared a lot on social media, but is it really doing enough to justify giving those types of sketches airtime during the Oscars? I don't know. Some people might disagree, but I'd rather not have them.
All right, let's go roll into the final category, which is outstanding cast in a motion picture, which Everything Everywhere trumps over a film like Banshees of Inisherin and The Fabelmans, which were the 2 movies that people were really talking about could win. And Everything Everywhere is the 4th win of the night. And if it wasn't enough that Everything Everywhere made SAG history by winning 4 awards, if it wasn't enough that A24 made SAG Award history by winning all 5 of them, of course, not including the Best Stunt Ensemble, James Hong, 94 years old, taking that stage and giving that speech that went on and saying, look at us now. That's the speech that is going to propel Everything Everywhere to an Academy Award win for Best Picture. What do you think, Perri?
They make me so happy. They make me so happy for their individual honors in their movie, and they give me hope for award season and for movie making in general. I want them to win everything. I want to see more speeches like this. I'm so happy for them.
Jeff?
I mean, I want to watch Everything Everywhere again this week to see if I like it a little bit more on the second time now that I know what to expect. I don't think speeches should be propelling anybody or anything to wins, but I don't think it hurts.
I'll tell you what I think is going to be really interesting. So the Academy Awards are on March 12th. So that day means it will have been 1 year and 1 day since Everything Everywhere had its world premiere at South by Southwest. So on the weekend in which it had its world premiere, not just at South by, but actually opening South by and then going this distance a year and a day later to potentially winning, that's really cool, I think.
It is really cool. Maybe next year we'll be discussing another A24 going on to win at the Oscars, and it'll be a horror movie, and talk to me.
Well, I was thinking,
I'm just kidding, but Talk to Me is excellent.
Before the schedule for South by was announced, I was thinking, I wonder what they're going to have open South by Southwest this year. Maybe it'll be another Oscar contender, but it's Dungeons and Dragons. So, look, that's going to be awesome, but it's not going to win Best Picture.
All right. Do you want to blow through the rest of these super chats? We got quite a few.
Right.
Faisal is back to say Andrea Riseborough could be this year's Adrian Brody.
Yep. Faisal, you are not wrong, Faisal. Talk about a big surprise. Can you imagine?
It would have been nice to see Andrea Riseborough campaign for the award, but she was basically shamed into like turtling and putting her head into her shell. And like she shouldn't even show up at any of these awards because nobody wants her there. That's how it feels this season.
Oh, I don't like that.
And neither do I.
I don't like how all of this was handled, but we discussed that at length.
If Andrea Riseborough wins, then that means that she would go up to the stage and kiss Will Smith if Will Smith actually presents the award for Best Actress, which I don't think he is.
Yeah, I thought he wasn't.
Yeah, he's not. But that would have been a hell of a thing.
They have a better chance of presenting that award than Will Smith does.
Yeah, who's going to present Best Actor? Do we know this?
I just had this discussion with someone else recently, and I couldn't come up with a like the right whoever the best possible person to do that is.
You know who should present the Oscar since Will Smith won't be there? You know who should?
Are you going to say Chris Rock?
No, I was going to say Jeff Snyder.
It should be Tom Cruise. Get Tom Cruise on the telecast.
Tom Cruise. You know what? he's going to be there. I mean, like, hey, Tom, would you mind? Who knows? Let's see, who's Cam on
Cam
camera?
on camera. I met you, Scott, back in 2016 at the SAG Film Festival. Loved your Q&A with Damien. You're my hero.
Oh, thank you. Yes, so that was the SCAD Savannah Film Festival, Cam. That was such a great festival. I think I also interviewed, did a Q&A with Eric Heiserer, the screenwriter of Arrival. So yeah, that was really awesome. And yeah, that was cool to be there with Damien for La La Land. La La Lander for life.
We have Dallin. I hope I pronounced that correctly. I think there's something to be said about Blanchett's remarks towards being disenchanted with winning. Do you think that'll change her chances? Personally, I
talk about this.
Yeah, I do think that's change. I respect her feeling that way and voicing her truth, how she's dealing with award season stuff. But I do think that has changed things.
I think it's changed things enough where some voters, who knows how many, but I certainly don't think that there's not one voter who's going to be swayed by that when it came to choosing like Michelle Yeoh or even Andrea Riseborough over Cate Blanchett.
I think you got to really want an Oscar. And Kate, I don't know what I think of her stance, where she's just kind of like, I'm above it all. I've already won twice. Oh, give it to Michelle. Like, I don't know if it's like genuine or if it's like strategical or what. I don't think it's going to matter, but I do think it does play a little role. Yes.
All right, Whitney's got one. Is Everything Everywhere really that untraditional when previous Oscar winners include Shape of Water? At its core, isn't this just a family drama?
Well, at its core, yes, it is, but it's got a whole lot of bells and whistles, just like Shape of Water did, and just like, well, Parasite is also unconventional and untraditional. So I think a lot of the talk, Whitney, you bring up a great point. A lot of the talk about, oh, well, the Academy's going to go for something like in the past, how it went for like, the King's Speech over the Social Network. If that was this year, I think the Social Network would have actually won over the King's Speech because the Academy membership is bigger and different. So I think maybe, this is the new normal for the Academy to go for something gonzo and far out and unconventional.
I think those other movies like Shape of Water are unconventional, but there's something about a multiverse movie with all of this like batshit crazy stuff going on, but that's all rooted in family drama and challenging human truths that I think is, especially one of a kind in this industry.
Yeah, this movie is wholly original and unique. I don't think that there's ever really been another movie, let alone another Oscar contender like it. And that may be why it's performing the way that it is this season. It's a breath of fresh air.
All right, here's Lewis. I love watching you all throughout each award season. Also, Ke Huy Quan would be the second actor of Asian descent to win supporting actor after, I'm not going to pronounce this name right.
One for Killing Fields.
Say it again, Mance.
Hang S. I think it's Nagore.
Yeah, I can't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, that's a great movie. And Lewis, thank you for the trivia, because I'm going to use it.
Ike and Ike, why can't Everything Everywhere All at Once be a prestige movie?
It is a prestige movie.
It's definitely not a prestige movie. Come on, man.
It's a prestige movie. I think it's a prestige movie. Just it's a very unconventional prestige movie. I mean, it's not a broad film, but even though it's been embraced above and beyond by probably what anybody expected that movie to do. But I think of that as a prestige movie, sure.
It's definitely not a prestige movie. The director's last movie was about a farting corpse, and then when one of them went off and made his own movie, it's about a guy who got screwed to death by a horse. So it's definitely like that. That is what makes it a prestige movie. Okay, it's about your pedigree. It's about who's directing this thing. Now their next movie will be a prestige movie, but like this one, like Ke Huy Quan hadn't worked in a while. Michelle Yeoh not really thought of as like an awards darling. Same with Jamie Lee Curtis. There's nothing prestige about this movie, but it may have very well redefined our idea of what a prestige movie is and should be and could be.
I like that interpretation. And also, it is inevitable that even if someone comes into the race with something that isn't a traditional Oscar contender, ultimately, no matter what they make next, it always has like a little of that flavor left. So now, probably everything they make from here on out is going to be considered, at least at the onset, a potential Oscar contender. All right, David is here. Do you think Kate Blanchett can still win? I think we all think.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not a lock for Michelle Yeoh. Not a lock at all. It's between the two of them, really.
All right. CM Lady feels like the 1917 year where pundits forced 1917 down our throats when people connected to Parasite more. Tar and Top Gun feel like the 1917 of this year.
I don't think that Top Gun was forced down anybody's throat. Everybody loves Top Gun. That movie was embraced by everyone around the world. But I see your point. I don't agree with it.
All right, Claire, I'm in denial about Top Gun Maverick 2. Can it beat Everything Everywhere All at Once for editing, at least?
Possibly. It does have a very strong shot.
I'm still butthurt. I think it needed to be nominated for cinematography. I don't think I'll ever get over that snub. There is the definition of a snub. That makes no sense to me whatsoever.
I agree. I'm still in denial about Top Gun Maverick 2, but I'm not calling it. I still think Top Gun does have a chance, and I'm rooting for it.
All right. I don't know if either of you have these stats with you. Faisal wants to know PGA is voted by how many members? Oscars are voted by 5,000 to 6,000 people across all branches. That's why Everything Everywhere All at Once could lose.
Actually, the Oscars are voted for by around 9,400 members across all branches. I don't know how many members there are in the Producers Guild, but that's a really good question. If anybody knows, comment below and let us know.
Here, one of you guys read this, and I'll see if I could look that up.
Dallin is asking, hey, Dallin, thanks for your support. What music performance are you most excited for at the Oscars, and how crazy do you think Hope Not To will be? Here's hoping it wins. Dallin, I don't think you have to worry about that. I think Not To is the front runner to win, and I'm sure that the performance of that song at the Oscars is going to be the best performance of the night.
Dude, that better happen. That better happen. It better be big. And I think I've said this in a previous episode. It needs to be just straightforward, Not To. Don't pull an Encanto with this shit. Encanto, that made me so mad. So a very quick Google, and I believe this connects to the actual Producers Guild website, says PGA has 8,000 plus members spanning the full producing team in scripted, nonfiction, documentary, animation, and new media sectors.
So that's 8,000 roughly compared to 9,400 members of the Academy. Very, very interesting.
You guys think Not To is a lock to win?
Kind of, yeah, I do.
I think it's a lock and a front runner. When I look at everything,
I prefer Hold My Hand, Lady Gaga from Top Gun, because I just love, it's a song that stays with me versus the others.
I think that Rihanna song has a chance. I just think it's tough to listen to that song and not think about Chadwick. Sure. And there's an emotional element and engagement that I think the other songs lack, but we'll see.
I'm hesitant to say that Not To is a lock because Lady Gaga and Rihanna are just such forces and they're also great songs, but like Not To is another one where it's just like this standout, like electric thing that has united so many people and everyone loves it. And you can't take your eyes off of them when they're performing that song. I have a feeling that one has that extra special spark that is going to make sure it gets the win.
All right. Are we ready to close this baby out?
We did it. We did
it. This is our live show. Thank you to everyone watching. Let us know in the comment section below what you think of our reactions to the Producers Guild and the SAG Award winners. And lucky you, we have another episode of FYC happening later this week that will drop on our usual Friday morning. We're going to cover the screenplay categories and maybe a few other categories as well. And then next week, it is the home stretch. We are going to do our final predictions in all 23 categories for the Academy Awards. And then the week after that, Monday, at some point, we hope we're going to do another live show, our reactions to the Academy Awards. So It is a lot of excitement coming up on FYC. Big thanks to our sponsor, Above the Line. Big thanks to the amazing Perri Nemiroff for keeping FYC going on her YouTube channel. That is your cue to stop what you are doing and hit subscribe. Hit subscribe. What are you waiting for? Just do it. Make sure you share this episode of FYC across your social media platforms so more people can discover the greatness of the amazing Perri Nemiroff, the mighty Jeff Snyder, and this guy. We love doing FYC. We want more people to discover the very best award season show all year round. Now we have one more fast chat. What is it?
It's just support. It's just love for FYC. Thank you, Joseph.
Oh, Joseph, thank you so very much. And on that note, thank you for watching, share FYC, and until the next episode of FYC, all together now, FY, see you later.